In looking at a field, at two kids, at an island, we've seen quite a bit about kids in cinema.
I've made a film about childhood, but instead of me doing lots of filming of real children, I've used extracts from the great movies made about children around the world to show different aspects of the nature of childhood emotions.
Destructiveness in Vigo's high-angle frenzy, stroppiness that's both theatrical and documentary-like, loneliness and loss as seen in Moratova's spinning camera, and Janfisa Keiko's dreaming boy.
It came about, I had made a history of cinema, a 15-hour film, but I realised that there was one aspect of cinema that I hadn't looked at, which is performance, and especially those performers who are acting very naturally, who aren't so controlled. And so I decided to look at children because they are, in some ways, the least censored, the most natural performances you can get. So I filmed my niece and nephew in November for 12 minutes, a single shot, and then I looked at it and I thought, oh, I can see they went from shy to happy to aggressive, and so I thought I can use that little 12-minute shot to look at children in the movies.
Back in our microcosm, our cornfield, our rock pool, the short shot of Laura and Ben is finished.
The first thing I wanted to do is show the broad international range of children in cinema. So there's loads from Iran, loads of Iranian films in here, Scandinavia, some North America, loads of Japanese as well. The whole world has done children's cinema, not just Hollywood.
Here's Albania in the 70s, for example, a world away from America. This film's set during World War II. Invading Nazis have taken over a kid's football pitch. But Tomke and his friends won't be forced off their field. How do they challenge the Nazis? By singing and dancing, like Shirley Temple sang and danced.
I wanted to look at films where children are more free in the film. They've got their own identity, their own agency. In a way, what I like most are those films where they almost feel as if they're co-directed by the child. So it's this collaboration between the filmmaker and the child actor, which produces the freshest films about children, I think.
Adventureness in the Korean film's long and winding road. Storytelling. Framing in the Iranian film where the boy carries his view of the world.
One of the things I argue in my film is that children are cinematic and cinema is childlike. On the latter first, cinema is only 120 years old. It's an extremely young art form. It's only getting going. And when I say that children are cinematic, what I mean is if you watch a child who's crying and bawling and yelling, suddenly they stop and they turn the waterworks off and they can be laughing within seconds. That's extremely similar to the way that a film can cut instantly.
Up here in the mountains, I begin to think of aspects of childhood and film that we didn't see in Laura and Ben.
Especially today, film is a great way of us understanding other people. I call it an empathy machine. So for a child, what can be better than to learn to fall in love with this medium, cinema, which will be a friend for life, which will take them on a magic carpet ride around the world to show them all sorts of different cultures. I really feel that when I was a boy, cinema took me in its arms, like in an embrace, and said, like, trust me, I will be your friend, I will show you the great places in the world, New York City, the deserts of Africa, and so it did. This film that I've made is for older children, I think, teenagers looking back at their younger selves. Just when we look back at our childhood and think, wow, look at that, you know, look how special it was, if only I knew, you know. And so it's definitely a film about looking back, either adults looking back at children or older children looking back at younger children and seeing a lot in those transient moments of early childhood.
And look at the wee boy at the front. He plays an invisible violin. He's engrossed in his own performing world.
I think children are quite rightly taught about the value of books and how much that's important for them and how that will stretch their mind like mozzarella cheese, you know, but cinema does the same thing, and we have to make sure that our children encounter this great medium and find its richness and value from it.